present here. I think that's
Okay, yeah, just pull your microphone a little bit closer.
Okay. I'll present on the sub, Mr. Chair, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So SB-82.
You want to just make a motion to amend it, to adopt it?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I would move that we adopt the second substitute.
All right, we have a motion to delete, well, I've got the first sub.
The first sub,
Okay.
that's right, yeah.
We've got a motion to delete Senate Bill 171 in title and body and to replace it with first substitute Senate Bill 171. Any discussion to that motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Chair rules that motion passes 4-0 with Senator Musselman mumbling. But we have the substitute before us.
Okay. And I should have someone online, Mr. Chair, that's going to help with my presentation.
Can you
If
give
we
us
could
a name?
Promote Margaret Olson.
Margaret Olson, okay. So whenever you're ready, I think we're promoting her. She has been
Done?
promoted.
Okay, great. Okay. Mr. Chair and Committee, this bill came to me from Ms. Olson, who's a prosecutor out in Summit County. And I invited her here to sort of explain the issue that she encountered as she was first prosecuting and then subsequently heard about sort of the fallout from a case that she prosecuted. But I'll just kind of give an overview for the committee that what it does is it would state that any unauthorized sharing of an autopsy photo that generally stems from a criminal case would have a Class B misdemeanor attached. We have similar penalties for the sharing of CJC videos, Children's Justice Center videos, and other sensitive materials that come up over the course of prosecution. It seemed like it made sense to add these types of sensitive materials to that list as well. But with that, I'll turn the time over to Ms. Olson so she can explain more.
Thank you. Ms. Olson, can you tell us who you are and who you're representing today, if anyone?
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for having me, Senators. My name is Margaret Olson, and I'm the Summit County Attorney in Colville. Prior to being the county attorney, I was in private practice for a number of years, and part of my practice was to represent victims' representatives in criminal cases. So I would assist families and victims in homicide, family survivors in the proceedings and help guide them through those. I was involved with a case, it's probably been 15 years ago now, where I was helping a family whose loved one had been murdered. And last year, somebody called me and said that autopsy photos from this 15-year-old homicide were going to be presented at a forensic science convention in Denver, and had some concerns about how these images were even in the possession of this other person who hadn't been involved with the case at all. And so I followed up on it because my former clients were rather upset that these images of their mother's dead body were going to be put up on a screen and discussed, and they didn't even know who the person was or why the person had those images. Well, come to find out, when I followed up, the person had obtained them back 15 years ago when he was retained to be a defense consultant, not an expert witness, but just a defense consultant. So the prosecutors in that case had no way to know that those images had been shared, and this person kept them all those years, and were using them, in my opinion, to advance some junk science. And I got into quite a dispute with this person, asking him why he felt he was entitled to the images without the victim family's permission, and et cetera. And so I brought the issue to Senator Pitcher because this is extremely difficult for crime victims to, not even know that their loved ones' autopsy pictures and other sensitive and private information is out there in the hands of strangers long after a criminal case has been resolved, the appeals have been resolved, and they've tried to move on with their lives. It was just a very upsetting situation. So I brought it to Senator Pitcher, and she's presenting this bill.
All right, thank you. Senator Pitcher?
That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. All right. Questions for the sponsor? Senator Musselman.
I suppose this goes mostly towards just in comparison of kind of what the sub does and kind of clarifying when it can be used by professionals and I'm wading down into sections of code that are already there anyway and really don't go to the merits of the underlying premise or policy of the bill in creating a Class B misdemeanor for use of these photographs that aren't appropriate. But I suppose one could make the argument on lines 125, I think it's 125 or 126, I can't tell, where it says, except for the use in presentations and publications for academic and educational purposes. Is it required when they use these photographs for, let's say for that they get permission of any family members or anything like that? Or is this just referencing what's already in law and I'm kind of going down a rabbit hole here?
Well, those provisions apply specifically to an employee or contractor of the Office of the Medical Examiner.
I understood that.
So yeah, so it limits it in that sense.
But they're still allowed to use it in presentations and publications for academic and educational purposes, right?
Correct.
Right, but they have to be in employment. So in the case, okay, all right. I think that answered my question. Thank
I'll
you.
just follow up. I feel a little more comfortable with an individual from the Office of the Medical Examiner using their discretion to determine what makes sense for purposes of training or research or the other items that have been listed in the bill. Somebody that a defense attorney is consulted with that's using it 15 liters would not qualify under this subsection.
Yeah.
I have a question, Senator. So this would disincentivize maybe someone from selling one of these photos to maybe a tabloid journalist or something like that to, maybe get some money and then they use it, on a TV show or in a, National Enquirer type newspaper. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, I certainly hope so.
All right, well, we don't want that going on in our state. There's a new sheriff in town. Let's go to the public. Are there members of the public, by a show of hands, who'd like to speak on this bill? So I see two. Do we have any online?
No.
All right, we'll give you each 2 minutes since we have a Senate prom tonight. So, Mr. Moffett, please introduce yourself. We have no idea who you are. So.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Mark Moffett. I'm a criminal defense lawyer. I'm here to speak in support of this bill, and the reason being is that Senator Pitcher reached out to the defense bar to find out if we had concerns about the bill. Our primary concern is that we be able to, of course, look at these images, share them with our client if necessary, but importantly, in appropriate cases, share them with experts. And the bill as drafted allows us to do that. What experts may do with it afterwards is, I think, what Senator Pitcher is addressing here. But for purposes of litigation of these issues and the guilt or innocence of our client, the bill allows us to share those images, which is what we were concerned about. So we thank Senator Pitcher for seeking our input, and we support the bill because of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next.
Richard Morrow, Executive Director of Salt Lake Legal Defender Association. I think my concerns have been alleviated with what Mr. Moffett said. As long as we're allowed to share those with our client, I am actually in favor of this policy. I think it's a good policy. I think it's an appropriate policy. I'm just hopeful that the way the bill is worded, I'm hopeful that we're able to share this information with our clients without, because there's some information in here that talks about distributing it or sharing it with others, and autopsy photos are shared with defendants all the time because I think they need to be. But given that, I think I'm in support of the bill. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay, we're going to close the public hearing and bring it back to the committee for further discussion and or action. Senator Baldry.
I move that we pass out with a favorable recommendation. First substitute Senate Bill 82 to the full body of the Senate.
All right, we have a motion to favorably recommend the bill. Discussion to that motion. Senator Pitcher, would you like to sum?
I'll waive, thank you.
Senator Baldry?
Waive.
All in favor of the motion to favorably recommend Senate Bill 82. I mistakenly called it Senate Bill 171 at the beginning. I apologize. All in favor of the motion to favorably recommend Senate Bill 82, autopsy photo amendments to the floor of the Senate, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Chair rules that passes unanimously, which is 5-0, since Senator Escamilla has joined us. Senator Pitcher, while you're in the batter's box, would you like to present 176?
Yes.
Let's